digital age, we manage to deliver, evolve, adapt. That's why we continue to grow. This is Pinoy Radio, and we cover all platforms available online. That's why we're taking large and rapid steps for our fellow Filipinos here in Canada and around the world. Growing by leaps and bounds in 2019. PinoyRadio.com is a member of the MCBN Media Group. Welcome. Broadcasting from the World Wide Web. This is PinoyRadio.com.
24/7 of today's best Filipino music on Pinoy Radio. PinoyRadio.com. Just log on, it's always on PinoyRadio.com.
Oras na sa usapang negosyo. Oras na sa talakayang politikal. Business ang kanilang mundong ginagalawan. Public service ang kanilang buhay na dapat ihayag sa bayan. This is the World of Business and Politics in 60 minutes. World of Business and Politics by Vaughn Canton. Saturdays, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuwing Sabado, atin silang kilalanin sa PinoyRadio.com. World of Business and Politics.
All right, everyone, it's 1:34 in the afternoon right now. My name is Vaughn Canton. Welcome to the program Business and Politics every Saturday here at the station. All right, and today I'm happy to have our friend here to be our guest for we're going to talk about politics basically and federal updates. That's why we're bringing our special guest, no other than Honorable Francisco Sorbara, Member of Parliament, Woodbridge, Vaughn. So welcome to the program, Francisco. How are you?
Great to be here, Vaughn. Welcome, and hello to all your listeners.
Thank you. Okay, so how's everything, by the way?
Everything's fantastic. It's a lovely weekend, a little bit of rain. The spring hasn't fully come, but we're doing quite well. And,
maybe that's a blessing, right?
Was it April showers will bring May flowers? So let's hope that there's less showers.
Tulips are coming out soon.
Let's surely hope so. We need it. We've had a long winter, and I know everybody's itching to get outside and do some gardening and get some sunshine.
We are live today at PinoyRadio.com as well as on other social media platforms. We're live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and also MCBN.TV. Okay, so now let's talk about. Well, there are different areas that we can talk about on federal updates, but let's start with the budget. So you passed the 2019 budget already, right? So tell us about what's in there and what are the changes.
Well, I'm happy to report we brought in our fourth budget as a government about 2 weeks ago. And again, we're making critical investments in the middle class and in all Canadians from coast to coast to coast. If I can highlight one or two areas, we are addressing a skills shortage in Canada. We're going to allow people to set aside funds to invest in their skills as they go along in their career. We're taking a look at housing affordability, Vaughn, as you know, up here in York Region. We want our children to stay close.
Houses are getting expensive.
Houses are expensive, and we've taken a look at that and how best we can address that. I was the federal Liberal chair of the Housing Affordability Caucus in Ottawa. So we've done a lot of work on that. And we're looking at prescription drug prices through a National Pharma Care program. That's been working on, so some measures there. And for seniors, for our seniors, we're going to let them keep more of their hard-earned money. And that's something really important.
And keep their pension too.
Yes, of course. And allow pension income splitting.
Which is not so big, but that's why we have to really help our seniors, right?
Yes. Well, we've done some few things. On past budgets, we've increased the guaranteed income supplement by 10%.
Yeah.
I know in my riding, 1,600 seniors get an average about $800 more every year because of that measure. It helps people out.
Okay, so let's talk about part of the budget. What improvement did you bring to the youth?
Thank you for mentioning that. So what we've done for youth is we've lowered the cost of their student loans.
Okay.
And roughly, if I can put it in numbers terms, about almost $400 million a year that they're going to save on their student loans from going to post-secondary education. That's significant because we've also upped the grant size that students can take in a prior budget. So what we're doing is we're addressing the issue of affordability. And we know for parents that are sending their kids to school, education is expensive, but education is very critical to get the skills.
And it's important.
to succeed. Very important.
Especially when it comes to looking for jobs, the skill level, and we're going to talk about the skills training.
Yes.
Part of your, the budget that you approved for 2019. I mean, I'm talking about the federal government. How about the housing affordability?
Housing affordability, but we've said for first-time home buyers, because we know that first-time home buyers, you have a
it's
teenage
tough,
son in a couple years.
Yeah.
It's very tough to enter the first-time the market. And for first-time home buyers, up to a certain price point, I think it's about roughly $600,000, that we will actually put an equity injection. We'll actually give the homeowner through CMHC money, say up to $40,000, to help them get a mortgage, but get a smaller mortgage.
So you mean to say government will give this 40,000? How does it work?
For example, if your mortgage is going to be $40,000,
Okay.
what CMHC will do, they'll give up to 10% of the $400,000, which is $40,000.
Okay.
Will be an equity contribution, which will lower your mortgage from $400,000 to say $360,000. So it'll lower your mortgage payments on a monthly basis.
It's more easier.
Yes, it'll facilitate people entering the housing market. We estimate over 3 years, over 100,000 families in Canada will be able to use this measure.
Wow, that's really good news for. Okay, so effectivity date. It's going to happen this 2019.
Well, the budget will be introduced in Parliament as legislation.
Okay.
And this coming week, I think.
For that purpose?
For that purpose, it'll be in the legislation, and the framework for assisting first-time homebuyers on housing affordability will be coming out in the fall. I think my understanding is in September we'll get the full language and so forth. So I'm excited about it.
Fall. So that's election time.
Well, I'm right.
Okay. All right.
It will be worked out via the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation.
It is very true because the prices of houses or properties in the GTA is really soaring high.
Yes.
And when we think about it, all right, we own a house today. It's more fine. It's good for us because we make a lot of equity out of it, right?
Yes.
But when we talk about our kids, oh my, it's going to be hard for them to start their own dream and build their family. If the house is really high and the down payment required is high as well. So I think really the government should help and do something about this.
Well, we know with millennials, with people aged, I think it's in the early 20s to mid 30s, that the number one issue they've identified is housing affordability.
See,
and our government has addressed that. We're addressing that. We're taking big steps, big measures to help them. It's not.
But are they feeling it? Are they feeling it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, because most people still want to live in a house.
Yes, of course.
They want to transition to a house later on in life.
Yeah, but if they don't have money to buy a house, it's gonna be hard for them.
Yes.
Especially in downtown. Especially rental is really high.
Rental prices in downtown Toronto. I know I'm from Vaughan, and rents are going up there, but rental in downtown Toronto is a real issue for people. That is, I've heard some stories there. It's very expensive.
So I hope the government is really serious about helping these people.
Well, we are, and on the rental side, we've put in actually $10 billion over, I think it's through 2027-28. It's for new rental buildings coming up to partner with developers and contractors to build more rental housing. It's actually about 43,000 new units we expect to come on for new rental financing initiative, which again,
is that the federal budget project?
Yes, that's a federal budget. Yes.
Okay, the provincial has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with the province.
Oh, sounds good.
Yes.
All right, seniors. Let's talk about seniors. What's the good news for seniors?
Well, much like, those wonderful, hardworking Filipino seniors that have built this country.
And Italian too.
Italian seniors and many other
and many others.
We want to ensure that all Canadians have a secure and dignified retirement. That's the first thing. We want to make sure that they can afford their drugs when they need it.
Yeah.
Because we know most of the time you consume prescription drugs is later on in life. We want to make sure they stay in their home as long as they can.
Yes.
Because most seniors want to stay in their home as long as they can. And you look
but the property tax are killing them.
We gotta talk to Maurizio and the city of Vaughan on the property tax.
I know. It's local. It's municipal issue, but again, it's a thing, right?
Tough.
Like you said, someday we're going to retire and we're going to get old, and rather than staying in a enclosed area like condominium or apartment, we would rather do some gardening in the backyard, right? So now, if you have a very high property tax, then it will be hard for retirees to pay for it, especially the seniors. I'm talking about the 80s, 85, 90s. It's really hard, right?
Oh, it's extremely hard. And those seniors there, we know the longer they stay in their home, the better they are, healthy-wise, mental-wise, all the factors. I think for us, what we've done, our first budget increased the guaranteed income supplement by 10%.
Yeah.
A big measure, lifted tens of thousands of seniors out of poverty. In this budget here, we're allowing seniors to keep more. If they're working, if you're 67, 68, 71, you're still working, you're going to be able to keep more of your money.
Yeah.
And
not
pay
tax
less tax.
them much.
Not tax them as much.
Because this is what the reality. What's happening is when they retired 65.
Yes.
Some of them go back to work and do some casual job.
Yes.
Right? Because they said the pension is not enough for us to sustain our life. And it's sad, right? So I think really the government has to do something about it, because for sure CPP is not that much, right? I don't know about the old pension and the supplementary pension. Just this every year?
So the CPP is adjusted by a formula every year. The old age security is adjusted on a quarterly basis by inflation and so forth. And over 6 million seniors collect the old age security pension. The maximum about $600 a month. So, if you're a senior, you have to be here for 40 years in Canada to collect the full amount of the old age security.
40 years? Oh my God, I'm only...
You're young. You're a young guy. You're a young guy, Vaughn. But
40 years of tax paying?
40 years of residence here.
Okay.
And I think
I only have 13 years.
You're
23 more years.
We got to keep working, Vaughn.
Oh my God. Right.
But so those measures there, the automatic increase of old age security, the annual increase on CPP, the GIS, those three are the pillars of our pension system. And if you look at the statistics, poverty rates for seniors have gone down a lot. And I will say though, cost pressures, we all feel them, and seniors feel them. They're on fixed income, and we got to be cognizant about that.
But how come they still want to work?
I think a lot of them.
Is it the lifestyle thing or what?
I think for some, obviously, it's an affordability thing. They want it. They may not.
Or they want to travel. Maybe.
They want to travel. They may have had the opportunity to save as much in a prior career. They have grandchildren. They want to, splurge on once in a while.
I have a quick question on pension.
Yes.
Say for example, okay, I migrated here 13 years ago. So during my stay, like in the Philippines, I worked. So obviously, I have my social security pension there building up, and probably I can collect that when I reach 65.
Yes.
My question is, do you look at those figures that, Vaughn, because you're collecting pension in the Philippines, so Canada will not give you the max or probably higher pension. Do you have that thing or a category or computation?
So each Canada has agreements with a number of countries on this.
Is Philippines included?
I will have to double check, but I want to say yes.
I think it's included because you had an embassy there.
Yeah, no.
We have a diplomatic ties.
Yes, we have very strong diplomatic ties, and it's always nice to see the consul general and the ambassador. I know with that, because I know with Italy there is the situation where people obviously have worked in both countries, collect both pensions. I believe it's all included as income.
Yeah.
So it would impact. It wouldn't. So for old age security, for example, Vaughn, you would need to make over $77,000 to begin to get clawed back on the old age security. On CPP, there's no impact. On GIS, there is, because GIS is really for our most vulnerable seniors or couples that are near the poverty line that need that extra income.
So I believe Canada will send communication there to verify that Vaughn is making 10 million in the Philippines. That's why Vaughn, sorry, Canada will not give you your deserved pension.
You'll still collect your CPP.
Still the CPP.
But congratulations on that nice pension, though.
No. It's not that. It's not real. It's not a real pension. Okay, so we're done with youth. Housing affordability update. The seniors. At least we know, people are listening, and especially the Filipino community. Of course, they want to know what's waiting for them ahead. Some of them are planning to retire. Oh, okay, this is where you're going to get. So one way of educating them is one way we help them, right? Now, let's talk about, you said we're running out, or not really running out, but we are short of skilled worker. And that's why the federal government invested on skills training.
Yes.
So how does it work and who can qualify?
Well, that is, Vaughn. Let me answer the question in this manner. We just found out last week from Statistics Canada that there are almost 550,000 job vacancies in Canada. The exact number is
300?
No, 548,000 job vacancies in Canada at the end of the year.
Okay.
And this was,
That's
so
big.
we know there are many unfilled positions in Canada, but we also know there are individuals in Canada that would like to move up in their career, but need to be able to invest in their skills
Of course.
to do so.
Yeah.
And what the budget 2019 has done has, from the finance minister and our caucus, we've identified skills training and skills investment as a priority issue.
So, let me interrupt.
Sure.
Where can they look at these skills listed?
Yes.
The list of these skills where they can check it for them to qualify.
Here's the wonderful thing. It's actually, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but what this will allow is if Vaughn Canton wants to take 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off or 4 weeks off from your job, you can do it. EI will cover you during that time, and you'll be able to take a course to boost your skills.
Okay.
And at the same time, every year, the government will give you basically a check for $250 that you can put away and save to pay for your course. So we've said to Canadians, as we want you to invest in your skills. We want you to learn new skills.
So if I plan to go to school and for advancement,
Yes.
do you have a limit? Like, Yvonne, you're only eligible for 1 year schooling or 6 months.
No, this
Is there a limit for that?
No, this program here would initially, the way it's framed is, if you want to take 4 weeks off from your existing employer,
Okay.
and you want to take a course for 4 weeks to allow you to learn a new skill.
Just like a crash course.
Yes, a crash
Oh,
course.
just like our technical director. He went for school for 2.5 months.
Yes.
Can he apply?
Hopefully in the future he will. And
Okay.
the next time he does it, that's what the program is aimed for. That's exactly what the program is aimed for.
Okay.
Is for somebody upgrading their skills in a short, very period of time.
Yeah.
They can take time off work. EI will cover it. If you're doing it for like 3 or 4 years, it's obviously a different
Yeah.
situation. But something where you can do it every 3 or 4 years. I need to take this course.
Yes.
Or that
Cross course.
Yes.
Sort of.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For improvement. Okay, cool. So I don't know that EI will pay for that. I'm
Yes.
gonna go for school for a month or two. Okay, EI, take over. Well, that's good news because a lot of people doesn't know that, right? So it's very good that you're here, and sometimes we need to update really our listeners and our fellow Filipinos, especially. And of course, because this station is 100% Filipino, so most of our audience are Filipino. But it's really, really good to give this information. But any other ethnic background can pick idea from this. Okay, so skills training. Let's talk about economy. How is our economy right now?
It is. Canada is doing exceptionally well, and I say that as a member of Parliament, yes, but I say that as an economist, as somebody that's worked on Bay Street and Wall Street,
Yeah.
and is raising a family and looking around and saying, we've created since October 2015 over 900,000 new jobs. We've lifted, according to Stats Canada, these aren't our numbers, but Stats Canada's numbers, over 800,000 Canadians have been lifted out of poverty in Canada since October of 2015.
That's good news.
Great. Our unemployment rate's at a 40-year low, 5.6% or so. 548,000 job vacancies.
But people is not really interested in these positive things, right? They're more interested about listening to the negatives and controversy. Like, maybe later let's talk about part of the SNC Lavalin, right? They said there's 9,000 jobs being protected, but look at the numbers you're telling me.
Yep.
These are the numbers that the federal government is doing for them, and
Vaughn, my focus ever since being elected is ensuring I have a bright future for my daughters, for your kids, for the residents of my riding, and for all Canadians. And I look at all the policies we put in place, CPTPP, the trade accord with Asia Pacific, CETA, the new renegotiated NAFTA. These are things that benefit Canadians on a daily basis. They may not think about it. They might not talk about it. But there are tangible things that we've done to benefit Canadians on a host of measures. And that's got to be our focus. When we talk about helping the middle class or strengthening the middle class and helping those working hard to join the middle class, every day that is my thought. Not every minute of the day, but every day. And that's the focus I have, to ensure the Canadians have a good future.
Yeah.
But we get 30, 40, 50,000 Filipinos that come to Canada every year. We want to make sure when they get here that they know they're going to have a bright future.
Yeah.
And along with all Canadians and all immigrants.
Yeah, because helping every immigrant, not only Filipinos, but
Yes.
everyone, when there's intervention, there's help, then probably they can realize and go to their career, and because that's the complaint all the time. If they arrive here as a doctor, you cannot practice as a doctor.
No,
It's
that's
not
there's
easy,
some
right?
provincial because a lot of the professions are regulated by the province, and they got to go through
that thing.
recertification many times, and it's much different than in Europe, because I know in Europe, if you're a doctor in France or Italy and you go to Germany, you can almost start working. My understanding is very quickly.
Yeah.
And sometimes
because there's agreement so-called reciprocity.
Yes.
And I think I'm not sure if we have a reciprocity with the U.S. Like nurses in the U.S. can work directly in Canada as nurse. I think there's still some bridging to do, right? So I think if we improve our relationship with the current administration, probably you guys can help and fix this thing.
We work with all administrations.
Yes. No, because the thing here is, if we make things easy for them, then they start working here from the U.S. It's still the government benefit from it because they're paying taxes, right? If we don't help them, then probably they're not working. Then that's our burden now, because they're gonna go for help and benefit from the EI or whatever. So I think it's all about helping and finding solutions to the problem. And very good. Thank you for that update on our economy. Now, child benefit.
Yes.
Do we have any changes?
Well, we indexed it 2 years ahead of schedule, and if there's one measure our government's brought in that I could say I am so proud of, is the Canada Child Benefit. It's monthly, it's tax-free, it's means tested, which means if you're making $1 million a year, you're not going to earn it.
Yeah.
And thus, if you are in the middle class and the middle class Canadian, you will get it. And in my riding of Vaughan Woodbridge, it benefits over 16,000 kids a month. Nearly
That's a good number.
Nearly $5 million, so $60 million a year goes to the residents of Vaughan Woodbridge. And in comparison there, so in my riding is very blessed, very entrepreneurial. People have done very well. We need to help all people, but I understand there are some ridings in Canada where that number is $100 million a year.
Yeah.
And from some of my colleagues. And this benefit is helping families pay for winter boots and classes, savings for a rainy day, savings for education. And that is something our government really, and the Prime Minister Trudeau, we need to be proud of. And we need to make sure we tell Canadians, because it is something that's helping families on a daily basis.
Any help for babysitting?
Well, if you know a good babysitter, I have a 6 and 8 year old, and we're always looking for one.
But you know what? Always a family needs somebody, help so they can work and they can, pay their taxes.
Yes.
This is part of a family problem, right? Okay, so I know 3 o'clock you have to be in another place. Now, immigration. Give us update on this. What's the latest measure and development from the federal government?
Well, when I think about immigration to Canada, we want to make sure it's secure and it's controlled.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that we have a system that all Canadians have confidence in. And I believe we do. And we continue to do so. I think one of the things that we can be proud of, and Ahmed Hussein, who's the immigration minister, the honorable minister, is that we have gotten rid of those backlogs that were left to us by the Conservatives, frankly. And not to pick on the Conservatives, but when you had a backlog for spousal reunification, when you had a backlog for family reunification.
That's an injustice.
And when you had a backlog for caregivers coming to Canada and the reunification of their families. We needed to, and we did invest monies to make sure those backlogs get eliminated.
Yeah.
And we've done so. And at the same time, now what we're doing is we recognize we need immigrants to come to Canada because our birth rate's declining, our population's aging, our workforce would be shrinking without them, and it's an economic story. For me, it's an economic story, and it makes for a better Canada.
And that's the liberal view.
Yes.
Because
multiculturalism, diversity, acceptance, inclusion. You know what? One of the reasons I'm a proud liberal is for that view. And we need to make sure, again, but we need to make sure Canadians have confidence in our immigration system.
Yeah.
We always have to make sure that's one of our fundamental pillars.
Yeah, you know what? If you bring immigrants, I don't look at it as burden. We should be thankful of them. Why?
Absolutely.
They bring skills.
Yes.
So it's a disadvantage to the country they left because that skill is not being used there. It's being used in Canada.
Absolutely.
When you work here, you pay taxes. It benefits the government. The more workers, the more taxes. And that's where the economy is moving forward.
We're about 37 million people here in Canada, and my parents came as immigrants in the late 1950s, 60s. They worked hard. And
not only that. When you come here in Canada as an immigrant, don't think it's a burden for Canada. They bring their own money. They bring their own resources.
Yes.
Right? They convert their properties into liquid. If you have 10 million there, you're going to bring that here because you're living here. So how come you take that negatively? I don't think so.
No.
It's a positive for Canada.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to invest in here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Immigrants to Canada, that's our story. That's our country's story. That's one of the major pieces of what our country's social fabric is. Again, I'm the child of immigrants. I'm now a member of Parliament.
So diversity. That's why
diversity.
you're liberal.
That's one of the fundamental reasons I'm definitely. There are many, but you know what? That is an issue that I think, with regards to the Filipino community, that we've worked so well with the Filipino community, addressing their concerns in the caregiver program, addressing their concerns to make sure their families are unified and not to wait 5 or 7 or 10 years. And those are injustices that we needed to fix, and we fixed them.
Really, the immigration has to really improve the system. I know we're still better than another country, but for sure there are other opportunity for us to improve that immigration system.
Better is always possible.
I know. Okay, one last topic. Just give us an update of what's happening out there, okay? SNC Loveland.
Well, I'm going back tomorrow morning to Ottawa, and I expect that we'll start debate on the budget and, many stakeholder meetings. We have World Autism Day coming up on Wednesday. And of course, I can't just ignore the issue that it's hand. It's unfortunate that there's been this, as the Prime Minister quoted many weeks ago, a disagreement in terms of views. Me as a parliamentarian, as a Liberal member of Parliament, my focus is on my riding, Vaughn.
Yes.
My focus is helping middle-class families for a better future. I was out knocking on doors today, and I can frankly say not one door at approximately 70 doors that I knocked on, not one resident asked me about the SNC Lavalin situation. I look at it as that we need to
I think the priority is the economy.
Yeah,
tomorrow you'll have a job.
Exactly.
So I think this is the most important thing. We have to remember it's election time.
Yes.
So everybody will be destroying each other and creating some major issues or propaganda, I would say. But as intelligent voter, what is the impact of this controversy to our life, right? So if I may share, there's a lot of changes after the new administration in Ontario, right? So many things have changed and reversed, and we know that. The question is, what is the impact of those changes? Because if you're not really affected with it, why join it?
Well, I think you can look at Ontario and you can say if you're a family that has an autistic child, you are much worse off today. If you look at class sizes, they want to increase the educational class sizes, and is that a good thing? I don't think it's a good thing. I'm all for fiscal prudence. I'm all for making sure you
that's cost cutting.
But that is cost cutting at the expense of the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I'm not for that. That's another reason why I'm a liberal. I don't believe in that. I think we need to continue to invest, be fiscally prudent. I'm the most fiscally prudent person there is out there, I think. But
and I think the most important thing is the people. I know we know exactly that. Okay, any government will look for some saving, right? If we cut this, then we save money, right?
Yep.
So I think they have to identify some services that's not really a priority, and refocus or realign some budget without really affecting like losing jobs, etc. Because for sure, in times ahead there will be a lot of job losses. Now the retail stores. Then yesterday, I think Windsor has announced they're losing 1,500 jobs after the GM in
Oshawa, and that's something we're concerned about. I know that we had 2 ministers there in Windsor, and look, that is, the company's identified that as a product that's not maybe not selling as well as they expected it to do so, but still
that's purely business.
But we need to be there as a government, ensuring that these 1,500 folks, but it's not just only 1,500 people, because they're all the spin-off jobs. Which is, I think it's about a 6-to-1 ratio. Every automotive job is about 6 indirect jobs. So we need to make sure that these 1,500 people have the skills, that's going back to skills training, to transition to another career. Some of them may be retiring, and that we continue to grow the economy. It's about the economy. And it's about
After
people's
all,
futures.
everything is a continuing process, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're so happy to have you and provide us
thank you.
quick updates about the federal government, what you guys are doing up there in Ottawa. And your message to your writing to your constituents in Vaughan Woodbridge.
Well, I just want to say good afternoon, everybody. Safe travels to wherever you're off to this weekend. I look forward to always interacting with my residents. I look forward to always seeing the growing community, the growing Filipino community in Vaughan and Vaughan Woodbridge, and saying hello to everyone. And it's a community that is blessed with so much. We have so great restaurants, great services, great community centers like we're here at Patricia Camp, and it's a community that we can be very proud of. I was telling I don't think there's a better place that I'd rather live in Canada than Vaughan. Maybe if there was more sunshine, then I'll take another one. But other than that, you know what, Vaughan's a great place to be, and the residents, I'm just so privileged to serve and to work hard for them day in, day out.
Actually, we also were very privileged to move in the city of Vaughan, and we felt it, the support of the community and the support of the municipal level, the municipal officials, and of course the federal MPs. We feel it. I mean, from city of Toronto, we move here and we position our operation, and at the same time how we can best serve our community as well. So we thank you, Francisco, for rushing over here. And we look forward to bringing you in again for another set of interview and updates about the federal government.
And we have the big celebration in July coming up.
Yes, of course, we celebrate the Independence Day, the Philippine Independence Day. That's June 12th.
Yes.
And also we have the biggest Filipino event in the city of Vaughan, which is the Vaughan Fiesta Extravaganza. And this year, it will be staged on July 20th and 21st. That's Saturday and Sunday. And everyone is invited. All right. And for sure, you're going to be there. All right. Okay. So, folks, thank you very much. My name is Von Canton. It's 2:04 now. And we're going to see you back next week for another edition of Business and Politics. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Inyong natunghayan ang isa na namang kabanata ng Business and Politics in 30 minutes. BP in 30. Hanggang sa susunod na Sabado, ganap na alas 11 hanggang alas 11:30 ng umaga, Eastern Standard Time. Dito lamang sa PinoyRadio.com, a division of MCBNI, Media Concept Broadcasting Network Incorporated. Business and Politics in 30 minutes.